Blood Warlock, Succubus Partner in the Apocalypse 3, Blood Manipulation, Part 2. As he walked down the hallway of the guy's dormitory complex, Xietain had the nerves in his body tense and his muscles bulged slightly due to the tension. Because today was Saturday, most of the guys in the dormitory had gone out to enjoy the good life. Most of them could have fun during the times when studying was not necessary as their families supported them from behind. Unfortunately, Xietain's life was not so good. The salary of his father and mother together could only afford to pay for the college expenses of one of them, Xietain or Ming-Chi. Because of this, Xietain strongly refused to accept his parents' money and started working in a repair shop near the university. That way, he could study and his younger foster sister could study as well. Although she felt guilty, there were not many options for a poor family. Lilith, who was following him step by step, suddenly said in a casual voice, "How about using the 4 free status points you have?" Xietain did not look back and replied while he shook his head, "No. If I use them casually now, I might regret it later. Right now, I don't know which attribute could save my life in times of need, and a sudden impulse might be my only hope." Lilith was silent for a few seconds before nodding in understanding. She licked her lips as she looked at his back with glittering eyes and purred, "I like you more and more." Xietain's breathing became slightly heavy as he heard that charming tone of voice, and it took all his willpower not to turn around to rip the clothes of the beauty behind him. Something told him that if he tried to do something like that, he would probably regret it for the rest of his life. Besides, even though she seemed to be helping him, Xietain was a careful person by nature. Therefore, he was still with his guard slightly up against Lilith. Suddenly 3 male zombies appeared at the end of the corridor, crawling towards him with trembling steps. Although these creatures gave the feeling that they might fall at any moment, their steps never missed and they held steady as they walked slowly but surely. Xietain could feel himself becoming somewhat anxious at the appearance of the 3 threats and quickly used his skill to forcibly calm himself. He knew that losing control over his emotions at such a crucial moment could be the cause of his death. Lilith looked at his back with a smile. She was really curious to see how he would come out of this situation. Currently, there was no trap set up nor was there any blood in the vicinity to use. While Xietain could turn around and go back to his room to make use of the corpse of the zombies he had killed earlier, that would leave him exposed to more zombies coming out of the locked rooms as the sound of banging could be heard uninterrupted. Obviously, at this rate, many zombies would soon come out and seal the way out. Xietain took a deep breath and slowly walked forward while watching the movement of the zombies. They moved really slowly, but that didn't stop them from being terrifying in their own right and, as far as Xietain had seen so far, a scratch meant death. He tried to make use of his blood manipulation skill only to discover to his consternation that it seemed to have no use against these zombies. Lilith felt the flow of mana and knew what he wanted to do, so she quickly explained, "Although your skill is really strong, dead creatures are practically your nemesis during the initial stages as these zombies feel no pain. Try to warm their blood and then guide it to the eyes." Xietain's eyes flashed and he quickly understood what the succubus behind him meant. With a thought, he spent 15 points of mana fiercely reheat the blood inside the zombies' bodies and guided it to the eyes. The results showed immediately. The eyes of the 3 zombies exploded due to the internal heat and blood began to gush out like a fountain. Xietain did not pass up the opportunity and spent another 30 points of mana to create 3 frozen blood arrows from the blood the creature spilled, killing the 3 zombies at the same time. You have acquired soul power of normal zombie level 3. You have acquired soul power of normal zombie level 3. You have acquired soul power of normal zombie level 3. You have leveled up to level 3. You get 2 status points to distribute freely. Xietain had killed 2 other zombies after reaching level 2 in his room, one of them was level 4. With the accumulation of 3 other level 3 zombies, he leveled up again. The only regrettable thing was that he could not acquire benefits from these level 3 zombies other than experience. Every time Xietain leveled up, his stats would recover to the maximum point immediately. In short, even though he had spent 20 mana points in his room and another 45 just now to defeat the zombies, his mana recovered because he had leveled up. After thinking for a moment, Xietain took out a bottle of water and emptied its contents on the ground. Enduring the urge to vomit from the foul smell and bad appearance of the dead zombies, he walked over to the corpses and filled the bottle with blood. Previously, he was forced to spend 15 points of mana to force the zombies' blood out. This kind of consumption was one he could not afford. After all, he was now leveling up fast, but he knew that things would not always be so easy. Xietain's hunting became much more efficient as he went down floor by floor. Making use of the blood he had saved, he created small strings by spending only 2 points of mana, binding the movement of the zombies for a moment. Xietain would take advantage of that brief moment to approach and stab the zombies' brains with the mutated bee stinger. So far, Xietain had killed a total of 33 zombies from the moment he left his room. A thin strand of blood slid silently across the floor, catching one of the legs of a zombie, causing its body to almost fall and stopping it in place. Taking advantage of his 13 points of agility, which made him almost 50% faster than a normal person before the apocalypse, Xietain quickly circled around and stabbed hard at the back of the zombie's head, raising the sum to 34. You have acquired soul power of normal zombie level 4. You have leveled up to level 5. You get 2 status points to distribute freely. Reading the green message flashing on his retina, Xietain let out a sigh of relief. To climb from level 4 to level 5, he was forced to kill about 16 zombies, which had drained his stamina quite a bit and several mana points. Upon reaching the first floor, Xietan's footsteps stopped and he looked at the zombie blocking his path in shock. This zombie had 2 grotesque and powerful arms the size of a grown man's thighs. It was also taller, at least 2 meters tall. Obviously, this zombie was a more dangerous species. The hulking zombie also sensed Xietan's life source less than 5 meters away and moved toward him. Although this particular zombie was slower than Xietain, it was at least twice as fast as normal zombies. Taken by surprise, Xietain panicked and quickly moved his head to the side, dodging the zombie's fist by a notch. Bang! The zombie's fist caused a hole in the wall behind Xietain and his face turned white as he realized that if that attack had hit him his head would have exploded like a watermelon falling from a 10th floor. In the moment of crisis, Xietain kicked with his 14 strength points forward, forcing the burly zombie back a few steps. Before the zombie could attack again, Xietain threw a wave of blood into the air and directly spent 40 mana points to create 4 blood chains. Unlike the small strings of frozen blood, these blood chains looked much more robust and sturdy. After all, Xietain only needed 2 or 3 mana points to create a blood string, but for these chains, he had used 10 points each. Under his control, the blood chains tightly wrapped around the corpulent zombie's body, throwing it to the ground. Seeing his opponent incapacitated, Xietain advanced and stabbed with the mutated bee stinger. However, to his surprise, the stinger that was even sharper than a knife had only managed to pierce a few centimeters before being stopped by the zombie's flesh. The strange zombie began to struggle in an attempt to break free, but the chains of blood clung tightly and would not allow it to break free. Still, Xietain dared not relax and stabbed non-stop at the same spot over and over again. It was only after nearly 20 stabs with all his strength that he finally managed to crush the zombie's brain into a bloody mess. You have acquired soul power of strength zombie level 15. Strength plus 6, health plus 5. You have leveled up to level 6. You have leveled up to level 7. You have leveled up to level 8. You get 2 status points to distribute freely. Xietain felt his body become much more powerful than before in a matter of seconds, and the tiredness he felt after stabbing with all his might 20 times disappeared completely. Ah! What is this? Xietain advanced and picked up a strange orb that had fallen from the corpse of the strength zombie. Rare treasure orb, contains a rare category treasure inside. Chapter end.